everyone, Vince here from That Little Podcast. This week we're going to be talking about what's going on with DC, our thoughts on the films and TV shows that we watched in 2022. We hope you enjoy. So let's get into the episode, guys.
So how much did you guys read up on the stuff my dad's been posting about what's going on with DC?
None of it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it's been floating around.
Looks speculation.
And I mean, a lot of it's been floating around for the last couple of weeks, right? Where Gunn's basically saying, "Hey, we're, throwing all the babies out with the bathwater, right? To completely restart and take this thing from jump." Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? You don't want to go into anything half baked, leaving people with this sense of like, oh, is this a part of the old continuity? Is it part of the new continuity? It's like, no, just take all of it, throw it out, start again, and see what you can do with it.
So it's very bizarre that, he's doing this and
he's not scrapping completely the Flash movie.
I mean, it's done. What are you going to do?
Well, so wasn't the Batgirl movie done too?
Right. But so, I mean, they for whatever reason, they decided that they want to release that. They want to release Shazam, right? And then Aquaman 2, I think, is still floating somewhere out there for now anyway. I mean, who knows? Maybe as we get closer to Flash, they might decide, you know what? We don't feel like we don't want to eat this PR stunt that we're about to try to pull.
Can we get somebody else?
Yeah, new quarter, new financial, they might go to their finance people and be like, hey, if we kill this movie, can we write that one off? And maybe they'll say yeah, and it'll just be a thing that it's the next calendar year, and that's that taxes. They just aren't announcing it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Well, I want to definitely get rid of Ezra Miller as the Flash. Come on, you just please.
Well,
He's been terrible.
Promising too.
Huh?
Blue
Beetle look really promising too. So hopefully they'll at least release that on HBO Max or something if they're going to start wiping stuff out.
I missed it. What was it again?
Blue Beetle.
Oh, Blue Beetle. Okay.
Yeah. No, your audio is kind of a little.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little funky for a minute there.
All right, let's try that. That better?
Yeah, you were sounding a little bit robotic and distant.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Beetle would be cool, right? And you have movies like that where as long as you don't have cameos from anybody, it could just be this standalone by itself thing that you go out there, and if it resonates enough with people, then as you're building up your new system, you can plug that stuff in because hey, everybody really liked that version of Jaime or whatever.
Well, I wonder, because they let go Jason Momoa from playing Aquaman, and then you got Carl Urban playing Lobo. I wonder how much of Lobo was decided before James Gunn came on board.
Did they decide on who's playing Lobo? Because they were saying that Jason Momoa was going to stop being Aquaman and become Lobo.
I was about to say, of the two, as much as I love Carl Urban, Momoa would fit Lobo a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. He's got the hair for it. He's got the build for it. He's got the attitude for it. Like,
absolutely has the attitude for it.
He would nail Lobo, I think.
Well, and then on top of that, you think of the fact that they just, what was it, today or yesterday, they announced that they were letting Henry Cavill go from Superman. And it's like, who are you going to cast? I mean, he's the perfect Superman.
Man, that is the biggest missed opportunity of all of DC's stuff, right? The fact that they got so hung up trying to catch Marvel that they just ran headfirst into BVS. And it's like, you guys should have taken your time. You should have held back. You should have made a Man of Steel 2. You should have done a standalone Batman movie, and then you could have gone into BVS, and it might have been a more cohesive film, and it wouldn't have been so scrambled together as it was. But like, Cavill just never had a good chance to really, honestly, truly shine as Superman, and that sucks.
Yeah, and the sad thing is he finally got to play a real Superman in Justice League. the original cut, not the Snyder cut. And it was like,
Yeah.
man, where was this? Why couldn't we have this in Man of Steel? Why couldn't we have this in, Batman
I mean-
versus Superman?
I mean, with Man of Steel, I kind of got it right. It was young Superman. They were giving him that moment, right, of regret that was going to kind of follow him through and be because again, we kind of talked about it before. What they did to Jonathan Kent in Man of Steel destroyed Clark's source of encouragement. It destroyed his reason for becoming what he eventually became in a lot of ways. And so instead of it being this positive affirmation of, hey, you need to go use your powers to do great things, instead this Superman was going to be fueled, I think, a little bit more from a side of regret. And that's where I wanted to see a Man of Steel 2, where you would see Superman grow out of that, right? Where he would go on to defeat a villain, to do some great thing and realize, hey, because that should have been his arc. His arc should have been, here's this act, I did this thing, I succeeded, but at the same time, I failed in what I was attempting to do. And then seeing him grow from that and then shed that bond of regret and go on to become the big shining hero that he should have been. That's what I was hoping for Cavill's Superman, and we just never got that. They just skipped right from, everyone's kind of not sure about Superman because of the destruction the Kryptonians wrought, because of the death of Zod and all that stuff, to all of a sudden he saves a couple people on a rooftop from a flood, and now the entire world loves him and mourns his death, as if he was the hero that we expect him to be, but we never saw it. We never. They just shortchanged us right to the end, and it was like, no, you didn't earn it. You didn't earn it, and so they failed that.
Sadly. You know what it was? They gave him the Hercule, Mr. Satan treatment. I beat Cell, yeah.
Basically, I mean that's what it felt like.
I'll do it to you. Don't say that.
It's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors.
That's what it felt like, man.
Well, it's like going back to that whole parallel too of with Dragon Ball and Man of Steel. It's like at least Goku has enough sense to take the villain out of the city.
I will still contend Soups tried on multiple occasions during that fight to get him away from the city, and Zod just fought his way back in. I mean, he took him to space. He took him all the way to space, and Zod crawled his way back and forced him back into the city. So again, it's like Zod wanted to destroy Metropolis, and he had some zeal behind him to do it. And yeah, I know that's a hang up that a lot of people have, but again, for me, it was, this isn't full grown 100% Superman. And again, part of that was because of the way Jonathan Kent was. Part of that was because clearly he hadn't been doing it for very long, right? Didn't even have the suit yet. None of that. This was Superman week one, let alone year one, right?
Yeah.
So that side of it was like and also think about it. He had just spent the whole, about 8 hours going toe to toe with two Kryptonians simultaneously, right? Just getting the absolute shit kicked out of him during that fight. Then he had to go destroy the world shaper. So he just got done with that. Flew all the way around the Earth to come back to go fight Zod. And Zod's finally coming into his powers. And he's a warrior. He's of the fighter class, right? He's a soldier. So it's like, again, I can rationalize why Superman wasn't able to just drag Zod off into the wilderness where the dinosaurs are in Dragon Ball. I can excuse that in my mind. That's fine. And again, even with the death of, when the death of Zod happened, dude, that hit me. I felt and that was the thing. I felt Superman in that moment, right? When Zod has his big moment of talking about how all his people are gone, right? You took, my purpose from me. I felt that moment. And then when Clark snaps his neck, I don't care. I get it, right? Oh, well, the laser beam still would have cut the lady, all that bullshit. Is like, that was a good emotional moment for me with Clark. We never got that again. That's little baby Clark, right? That's him making his mistake. We just never got to see him learn and grow into who he was supposed to be, because DC was no. We got to do the team up. We got to get Superman and Batman together, and then bring in Wonder Woman. And then we got to do Justice League. We'll fit in Aquaman somewhere eventually, and the lightning guy, the red dude. We have the TV show Flash. Yeah, we'll slam him in there somehow. Hey Snyder, do you have a weird way to add in Manhunter? I think people like Manhunter. Let's try and figure out a dumb way to shoehorn him into the movie.
But we'll completely forget Green Lantern.
He had his.
They originally were calling it Unite the Seven at the very beginning, and then made all that disappear.
Yeah.
That I love. It was like a month of Unite the Seven. Hey, Green Lantern, yeah. Wait, where'd that go? Hello, come here. No, we want that back.
Yeah, well, it was a bleeding of the universes. We got to see what happened in another universe.
Yeah.
We got a hint of what we could have gotten, and it just didn't, and it wasn't, and it sucked.
They
But
tried to make a Mandela effect out of it.
Yeah. Well, freaking, if we would have had a better script writer, a better storyteller, a director, maybe.
look, Snyder can make pretty pictures, right? Like, I mean, you can't take that away from him. He makes things look pretty, right? I'll give him that at minimum. But yeah, they after his first run through of Man of Steel, they needed to give the screenwriting to someone else, right? Because I want to say it was either right before or right after Man of Steel was when Superman Earth 1 came out. I want to say it was right after, because I read Superman Earth 1 and I was like, Superman Earth 1 is what Man of Steel could
Should've
have been. And it was like, so in my mind, I'm like, okay, someone go find
Jeff
Straczynski.
John. Yeah, was it Straczynski?
Yeah, it's Straczynski.
Yeah, okay.
Do I have it? Actually, yeah, I got it right here. Yep,
Yeah, because it was Johns who did the
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, he did Batman. So yeah, go get Straczynski and just get him to go in there, and then we could have had Earth 2, Earth 1 Volume 2 as Man of Steel 2. And
Yeah.
how great would that have been with Parasite and all that good stuff?
Mm-hmm.
But nope, just right to BBS and then right up to Justice League and then right into the garbage.
Yeah, I mean, was there any news about what they're going to do with Batman going forward?
There's been all sorts of news. They just, as they were doing all this wondrous planning, when Michael Keaton showed back up, they immediately fired up the engines on an idea for Batman Beyond.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but I heard that was dead.
Oh
I
yeah,
heard they were-
everything they were planning on is dead. Wonder Woman 3 is dead. The
Well,
only
that's
stuff that made,
because Jenkins wouldn't rewrite the script.
well, it doesn't matter. It's still dead.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah,
stuff
so
that's
that's
making it
dead.
across the finish line are the three movies, and the only one I'm hopeful for is Blue Beetle, because they aren't showing a thing on it yet, other than the actual outfit, which I'm happy with.
Mm-hmm.
Aquaman 2, they have Keaton in it. They don't have Keaton in it. They have Affleck in it. They don't have Affleck in it. Same thing with The Flash. It's Keaton. Wait, no. Ben
It's
Affleck's in it. Wait. You don't know which one, but it's supposed to be Keaton. Supergirl is there.
They're not in it. Yeah.
They're saying it's this Batman. It's this Batman. No, it's not. He's saying there's not going to be 4 or 5 Batman, but there's supposed to be 2, 3. I don't know.
This is why Flashpoint is a horrible movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's a horrible concept to put to a movie. Just don't do it. Don't do it. I get DC has basically become the company of reboots at this point, but it's like, guys, you don't need to make it this obvious in your movies, for the love of God. Like, just don't. The things that I don't want, like James Gunn and whatever it is, like, I like the fact that he's been talking about how the priority is Superman, right? Like, that's what he's been coming out. He said a couple times. He's like, his priority is Superman, and I'm like, I'm glad to hear that, because God help me if that we do another Batman movie. I love Batman. I grew up with Batman. It's good. Holy shit. Let's do something. I don't want to see I don't want to see Batman right now, and I really don't want to see Joker right now. Like, I know whenever the Matt Reeves Batman came out and everybody's like, "Oh, there's a Joker cameo." I was like, just stab my eyes out. Why are we doing why are we going straight to Joker again? Don't.
Now Joker
Don't
2 is
do
in
it.
the works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like a musical and all weird and stuff.
I don't
Like,
know. I say let that and let the Matt Reeves Batverse thing that he's doing, let those go off and be their own little things.
yeah.
Okay.
No,
Without
hey,
the pressure of having to cross, without the pressure of it's all connected. Just let them go off and be their own little things. And if those characters pan out and be useful, then you will have 3 Batmen to deal with. Fine. But let them go off and be their own little satellites. You know, let them be their own moons.
yeah.
Focus on
It's like what I keep saying. I don't need everything to be connected. I don't want everything to be connected. At the same time, I don't want 8 Batman movies coming out in the span of 2 years.
Right.
But like, we can while they focus on a Superman movie, Reeves has got a pretty solid start point for a Batman story. Go tell good Batman stories with Matt Reeves.
let him
Put
go.
together good Superman stories with whoever they're going to get together to go do that. Just tell good stories. Stop focusing on all this. We gotta weave together this tapestry. Bullshit you do. What did early Marvel do? Early Marvel was just, hey, here's Iron Man. Hey, here's Iron, and oh, check it out, it's Nick Fury.
Yep.
And oh, hey, here's Cap. Oh, there's Thor. And there were like these little bitty hints here and there. Yeah, it's interconnected, sort of, kind of. But they stood on their own overall. It's like,
Yes.
go do that. Go make it to where they can stand on their own, and then we'll see where we go. Right? If it's a hit and it works, and there's room to say put together Matt Reeves's Batman with whatever this new Superman's going to be, and go do a World's Finest movie. Hey, go knock it out of the park. Go do a World's Finest. I'll be on board 100%. Y'all want to go out there and make a kick-ass Flash
Please.
and a good and a passable. I'm not even going for good anymore. In a passable Green Lantern movie. Go make Brave and the Bold. You want to put the two of them together? Go make a Brave and the Bold movie. I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, I don't need this giant. We got to bring the Justice League together. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can just do and like what Black Adam showed. You could just do a JSA movie. Like, you don't have to explain. Like, if you use one of these smaller teams, you don't have to explain all this bullshit. Just go do the team. Hell, Teen Titans is one of the most underutilized teams in all of DC's repertoire, which blows the mind, because like, the Teen Titans are some of the most beloved characters, and all they have is Go, right? I don't think they have an ongoing series right now. They haven't had an ongoing series in a long ass time, it feels like.
Titans. There is
Well,
Titans
there's
on HBO, which is in its final season now.
Yeah. Yeah,
One
but
in Young Justice or whatever.
Young
yeah,
Justice.
Young Justice is a different team.
I know.
Yeah, it's based on the
I know it's
concept
still
of
Nightwing and all that good stuff, but it's like, man, I would love to see someone who, has a good head on their shoulders and at least knows how and where to delegate to people, right? To put together, just for Christ's sake, just competent movies, right? And I think that's what James Gunn said. He's like, when people were asking him why he was basically shit canning the entire DC universe, he said something to the effect of, I've seen enough mediocre to bad DC movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, 100%. So that's why it's like, yeah, if Cavill's got to go out, if Momoa's got to go, if you have to just nuke everything from orbit and rebuild from the foundation, do it, right? If that means that we get good movies, it sucks that I don't get to see a good Cavill Superman, but hopefully whoever they get next is at least, on par, right? Is at least in the ballpark, and we can get just good movies. For Christ's sake, just good movies, good entertainment. Why is this so hard? I don't understand.
Well, for one, it's the only way to be sure. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, who would you cast as Superman?
And I'd have to go look through actors.
Yeah, I would too.
Nobody immediately springs to mind, but at the same time, like before Man of Steel came out, I didn't know who the hell Cavill was.
I didn't either.
I didn't have a clue who that dude was.
Unknown. They're gonna
And
have
then
to do that again.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, the first trailer drops. Cavill walks on screen, and I'm like, "Holy shit! Where did they pull this man out of? Like a Clark Kent factory? Because nailed it, man! Like spot on. Holy crap!" So if they've magically got some big buff nerdy Witcher 40K loving guy out there that can pull off the Superman look, I mean, go get him because y'all need him. Holy shit!
He gave up The Witcher for this.
Yeah, he did, and now it's
And
that's
now
canceled.
and now, you know, they got the other.
Is that what it was? Was it that he gave up The Witcher for DC, or was it that he gave up The Witcher because of all the behind the scenes tomfoolery and bullshit that was going on?
I think it was both. Honestly,
It might have been both, but they made it though. They painted it. His PR people painted it that okay, he has a chance to come back as Superman. He wants to go with that.
Yeah, how many times are you going to get to be able to play the Man of Steel and the ultimate Boy Scout?
I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that?
Hey, look, just bring back his twin brother, Henry Cavill, and
Henry
cast that.
Cavill. Yeah.
Just go with that. I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy, and Gunn's got a lot of. He's got a lot on his plate. He's got a lot of stuff to figure out and fix.
And he still has to get through Guardians 3 before he can really gear in.
Mm-hmm. And that's I'm really hoping that's going to be the movie that kind of saves us besides Ant-Man as far as Marvel stuff goes.
I don't know, man.
You know, I'm kind of curious what he's going to do with the animated stuff. You know, we might get a couple more different. I'd love to see Earth One stuff being made into an animated film.
Maybe he'll take a couple. Maybe he's already looked. He's taking the blueprints like, okay, this one and this one are canon.
Mm-hmm.
To help say, okay, these are your foundations. We're building off of this. Doesn't have to be all the recent stuff that everybody's enjoyed. It can be one or two. Okay, like for instance, the Teen Titans Judas Contract movie was not bad. Titans versus Justice League was not bad. Want to use that as a foundation for the Titans? At least you have the A-type for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to include the Robin, Superboy, whatever that was. You don't have to include Batman versus Robin. You don't have to include. I don't know.
Well, that continuity's gone with Apocalypse War anyway. So
yeah. But at least you could go back and say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. You can use those as a foundation.
I mean, it's like with all of this stuff, guys. There's literally hundreds of years. I mean, there's at least 100 years of stories. There's so much content. There's so much that's sitting out there that I mean, even just in the last handful of years that you can just go out and find, right? Like, one of the major story arcs in Superman of the last handful of years is when he got together with who was he fighting with? It was Clark, and I forget, there was someone else with him, and they got pulled onto Warworld and had to go fight Mongol and a bunch of nonsense. It's like, I mean, that was a story that just got retold, not that long ago. There's stories. Go find existing stories and just go tell them. Go tell them in competent ways.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, it's fine. But I mean, it was like it's like what we said with Star Wars, right? It's like you have so much canon, you have so many stories, you have so many characters, you have so much stuff out there to pull from, to go do stuff with. why is it so difficult to just go pull from existing content, go pull from existing ideas that are out, unless it's a whole rights issue. And I've heard some people make that argument that Namor, they changed so much in Wakanda Forever for the sake of avoiding licensing issues, because something about Namor and I guess the Fantastic Four and all that are still held by some. But I thought that was all
just Namor. Namor. It's like the Hulk. Okay, you can use Hulk anywhere in Marvel.
okay.
Universal still holds the main right. Namor, Universal still holds the solo.
Really?
If you want to do a Namor movie, yeah. They revealed that like a week after Wakanda Forever came out. Because people were saying, wait a minute, do they own it? Is it down it? So they figured out that, yeah, we can use Namor in any context that we want, like the Hulk.
Yeah.
You can't have a Namor TV show, which is fine because I'm going to wait for Wakanda Forever to decide whether or not I actually like the character. It looks promising, but again, shiny object, you know.
Right.
They got the mutant part right. They got the little wings on the feet right. I'm not crazy about all the bling, but they have at least a good explanation for it. Yeah. I want to see it all the way through. I want to hear him talk. I want to hear him say Imperious Rex. I want to hear him talk like he is just king shit above everybody else, and you're gonna bow to him because he's Namor. Damn it, that's what I want.
And of all the stuff that I heard about from Wakanda, I still haven't seen it. I probably won't. Like so many of these movies, right? I only get out to see like one or two every now and then. I probably won't see this one until it hits Disney Plus.
Right.
But from what I've heard, this Namor was a better Black Adam than Black Adam was in his own movie, which I'm like, yeah, I can see that, right? You're more of a nationalist in a lot of senses, right? With how you are, and that's kind of the way Black Adam's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like only Kahndaq is the only thing that he cares about. Everybody else be damned, and even Kahndaq he only cares about because it's his. It belongs to him, right? It's like
Doom with
Doom and Latveria and all that. It's like, yeah, I own this place. It's mine. Hands off. And anyone who tries to come take what's mine, I'm gonna punch a hole through your face. And that's essentially what they are. And we didn't quite get that with Black Adam, but from what I've heard of Namor, he sounds pretty cool. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna find out Friday what about Black Adam is really all that, because it drops on HBO Max.
Oh yeah. I mean I had just gotten enough of my Cinemark like free tickets, right, from being in the little membership thing. I had just enough to where I went and actually saw Black Adam with the kids and the wife. So I've seen it already. And there's stuff that I enjoyed stuff about it. There was other stuff that I was like, yeah, y'all could have done that much better. And it's definitely The Rock. It's Black Adam via The Rock, right? Is a lot of what it is. So there's a lot of stuff there where it's like, yeah, if you had just pushed a little bit further into the edginess, you would have found Black Adam. But because it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he came up to a point and then he stops because, well, I got to still keep my image and the kids still got to love me and I still got to be that positive role model and all this stuff that The Rock's got to do now because he's The Rock. Right. And that's kind of keeping him from just breaking through that barrier and getting over and being, yeah, that's what Adam's supposed to be. But
yeah, thing is, what I really love is that there are the real old school fans of The Rock. They know that when he was wrestling, he was a heel.
Yeah, that's the funny thing.
Did you know what Black Adam was cooking? No, because you washed it clean. Come on. He was a heel. He was. And in the comics, Black Adam has hair. Dwayne is bald. If he grew his hair, he would look more like him.
Well, the funny thing about that is there's actually a scene in the movie where it's in kind of silhouette, but that if you look close enough at the silhouette, it's classic Black Adam. It's the widow's peak, like it's everything, right? It's Black Adam. It's there. He's hidden and then it moves on, and it goes into like the other characters and other stuff that's going on. So it's they hint it in there, but yeah, it was Rock ain't growing his hair out. Rock ain't doing that. Rock's bald, and I mean
Probably
I'm
got
fine,
male
I'm
pattern
fine with
baldness.
bald. Huh?
He's probably got male pattern baldness and just decided to go smooth.
Yeah, no, that's I get that. I'm more than willing to believe that's what wound up happening. Which it's like, okay, Adam's bald, whatever. I can deal with that, but
Yeah.
I need Adam to be just a little bit more ruthless, right? Like when he sits on that throne, you got to feel like, yeah, this is the king. This is I'm lording over this bitch, and it's mine.
Yeah, I want King Conan in Black Adam. That's what I
Yeah,
want.
I mean that's the scene, right? The classic picture of Adam
Yeah.
doing is 100% them mimicking King Conan.
Yeah,
100%.
that's the pictures I saw. Because one thing I was hoping for, because there was always talk of a Crisis movie, and it was another one of the ideas that was in development, but they scrapped it when they decided to just wipe the book clean, like he was written with, magic eraser or something.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to have seen the recreation scene from Crisis on Infinite Earths where Black Adam grabs friggin' Psycho Pirate's face and just yanks it, just gone. I wanted that would have been nice, but no. He probably thumped him to death.
Well, and in fairness, I don't know that they would have gotten to Psycho Pirate. They probably would have replaced that with somebody else. Like Psycho Pirate's deep cut for people. Like
yeah, but he's such a great villain.
He is, but man, if DC was able to get so deep into into their rogues gallery to get down to Psycho Pirate, that'd be sweet. But I don't. Outside
I don't know.
of
I think James Gunn could do it because look what he did with Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad. He pulled some obscure stuff and made, he cobbled together a decent movie. It wasn't the best piece of cinema ever, but you got John Cena's Peacemaker really good, and he had a lot of intriguing bits to it.
Yeah.
If anybody could make Psycho Pirate come up in status, it could be him. And you could use him to help retool the Flash. You could help it, if you wanted a good villain that could just mind wipe and mind scar everything and then just force this whole, reset. You could use Psycho Pirate and Flash to do it.
Sure.
You mean Franklin Richards? You just have Franklin Richards do something where he just
No,
affects DC universe?
we're talking DC.
I know. I'm just making a joke.
We're gonna start talking about Spawn next. Oh yeah, Spawn come in. You could wrestle with Savage Dragon. They could both use Darkness's powers to take down Magneto and Galactus.
Yeah. And the shadow standing in the corner going, aha, I knew that.
What we could do is do that crossover with DC and Marvel back in the day.
Yeah.
Where we got like Nightclaw. What was it? Nightclaw?
Yeah, the Amalgam universe.
Yeah.
Oh. Doomstroke, man. That's a rabbit hole. That is one of the ultimate rabbit holes when you end up at Doomstroke.
So, did y'all see the trailer for the new Justice League game?
Yes.
That's set in the Arkham universe.
You mean the Suicide Squad game about killing Justice League?
Yeah, where Kevin Conroy is actually Batman in it, so it's his technically final
credit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant to say Suicide Squad. It's just the subtitle on it is Justice League.
Kill the Justice League.
Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe I had that one one in Gotham Knights confused because I think that's the one that it's the online cooperative one, right? Is the Suicide Squad?
I have no clue.
No, Gotham Knights is the 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I think that's co-op, but it's it's definitely more bigger universe type stuff.
So
whereas Gotham Knights is just local. It's It's like the Batman gaming verse 10 years down the road or something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, because like me and Adrian, when we were watching the trailers, like, so how did the Suicide Squad catch Flash? The fastest man alive, the one who can,
I mean,
reverse and
some
speed up
villain
time.
has to be some villain has to be able to do it, right? I mean, it has to be able to be done
It's been
because
done in the comics.
Yeah, I know, but the sad thing is,
It's
it
the
looks like
Suicide
the Ezra Miller version of Flash, or the Injustice version of him. He's
yeah,
got armor and all that nonsense.
yeah, man. It's that's the way everybody thinks of Flash now. Is yeah, he's got to have armor on because
Yeah.
that's easy to run in.
Yeah, it's not like he can dodge a bullet or has like, super metabolism because of his his speed connection to the Speed Force.
What is the name? So they're one of the best, by far, iterations of the character of Flash that I've ever heard or that I've ever experienced is who's this by? Jim's Big Ego is a band, and they did a song called "The Ballad of Barry Allen," and it's good. It's a really good song. It's kind of more of a mellow take because it's being told all from Barry's perspective, right? And it's kind of like the way the Flash was, the kind of the way you hear the Flash from Invincible before he gets murdered, the Red Comet or whatever it was that he was called, where he talks about how like everyone who's talking to him, it feels like he's in slow mo, right? Like his mind, his reality is at his speed, which is thousands of times faster than literally everyone else.
Mhm.
And so the whole song is being told from that perspective of Barry, and it's really awesome. And what makes it even cooler is, if I remember right, I read an interview by the guy who is the lead singer of Jim's Big Ego. And what makes it really cool is that he is the son or the grandson of, I think, the original creator of either Barry or Jay. I don't remember which. But somehow his family has like a tie into the creation of one of the main Flashes. And so it was just kind of cool that as a thing for his band, he wrote this really awesome iteration of the Flash in the form of a song. So yeah, if you ever get a second, go check it out. Jim's Big Ego, the Ballad of Barry Allen.
I'd watch that movie. No.
We can put that in the link, right?
Yeah.
The show.
Yeah, I'll find it and stuff, and I'll put it on the. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And what's cool is a lot of people have done like AMVs with it, right? Where they go out and they take footage from. I'm sure there's one that exists now of the current Flash show, right? But when I originally found it, they used footage from all the Justice League Unlimited and some of the Teen Titans stuff and spliced together and did this cool, music video with all this Flash footage and stuff. So yeah, no, it's awesome. I really, really, I was glad that I stumbled on that song.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really gave it much thought as far as the direction that James is going to go. I didn't get to read all the stuff, the news that was being reported, but it's going to be interesting for sure. Hopefully in
Yeah.
the right direction, because it's been a hot mess.
I mean, just any kind of cohesion would be good, right? Anything that was coherent, and it's just if you just felt like whoever was behind it wasn't just a corporate suit who was like, we just need to monetize it. We just need to slap some shit together and throw it out there and make money. Like, well, yeah, but you do that and you destroy the brand, and then you get to the point like where Star Wars is at, right? Like, so I know this episode we didn't quite start with what we've been doing, but I finished Andor, and dude, Andor was great.
Great.
It was
100%
really, really good.
great.
I mean, I still think that they probably could have condensed a couple of the early episodes, but I mean, overall, it was a really good series. And if I'm honest, if that show came out either right before or right after Mando season one, dude, that would have been appointment viewing. I would have been on top of watching that thing every new episode right when it came out. But after sitting through, you know, what was it? Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi, like it following those two, I didn't care at that point. All of my interest was dead. It just at that point I just kind of resigned myself in the back of my mind to like, I'm gonna wait for Mando season 3. Hopefully it's good. They kind of already screwed up a little bit of it, so hopefully they course correct and fix that somehow. But whatever, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I feel bad that I wasn't consistently watching Andor more.
Well, it was the formula for that show is how they should be doing any of the TV shows right now for Star Wars, Marvel. It was the perfect episode count because I thought it was going to end at 8 like everything else does. But it was 12 episodes. There was an additional 4 episodes to get to enjoy the story and the characters and what was going on.
Yeah.
There was things in that show that like you got to see the prejudice, the things that the Empire was doing against aliens, especially when like Mon Mothma was sitting there at the Senate, and it was just a bunch of humans. All the other seats representing all different races in the galaxy were gone.
Well, and even more than that, you actually got to see the Empire seem competent, right? Like the Empire was actually like you actually got to see the war machine, not the war machine, but you got to see the machine of the Empire's political system and all of them going through and mechanically like hunting down and like wiping people out and capturing them and putting them in these internment camps, like all this stuff, right? You got to see a side of the Empire that we haven't seen in a long time.
Not
right?
since A New Hope.
The sequel trilogy made the Empire look like a bunch, or I'm sorry, the New Order, whatever the hell they are, made them look like a bunch of morons the whole time. So
well, they were morons, and they just didn't know how to tell stories. So anyway, it's sad when Andor like just totally excels story writing, character development, progression of story, just everything about it. And then you look at Kenobi and that is complete garbage. It's like, all right, we got a bunch of stuff on the sticky notes. Now we're going to take a dart. We're going to throw, which we're going to do with the pod element. Oh, there. Okay. So we're going to do this whole thing where there's 2 ships. And we're going to just make it seem like Vader only has enough strength to pull one.
And the other one was just perfectly hidden enough behind the other one.
Yes. Yeah.
That when he destroys the first one, oh, hey, look, there's the other one. Like, come on. I mean, there was a lot wrong with that series. And it was like all they did was they sat down and they're like, hey, y'all remember when Leia got interrogated? Hey, y'all remember when Leia did this? Hey, y'all remember when it was just like for all the people that complain about all the nerds out there that want, all the references and everything, man, that show is nothing but, hey, you remember this? Hey, you remember this? Hey, it's like, no, yeah, I remember that, but the way you're using it is terrible. And yeah, I remember that, but what is it doing here? And yeah, I remember that, but why on earth would she act that way? Like, no, none of this makes sense. Y'all put no thought into this other than we'll just jingle the keys in front of the nerds and they'll like it. It's like, no, guys, that might have worked years ago for the majority of the fandom, but at this point, the fandom's gotten spoiled on decent content after however long the freaking Clone Wars TV series ran, right? It's like, yeah, they kind of got burned a little bit on the prequel series, but we've had good Star Wars stuff for a while now, and now they're screwing themselves on it. So
there's a complete library of expanded universe legacy content that they could have pulled from. Great writers that knew what they were doing, that understood the mythos, the lore, everything about it, that to make a good story.
Yeah, that's what we were saying while you were on break.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was talking about with DC, but I was saying, yeah, same thing with Star Wars. It's like, why is it so hard to tell good stories when you have good stories to tell already? You don't have to yeah, you need to rework them a little bit because you can't tell this humongous, spanned across 8 novels worth of content into a movie, but you can take the important plot points out of something like that, retool it down and condense it into something that is, cohesive and is enjoyable. But they just they can't be bothered for whatever reason. And I don't know, man. I was bringing up with Colin. I think you were gone at that point, but they were. I don't know if it's a rights issue, right? So we got to talking about Namor and how different Namor is in Wakanda Forever, and I've heard people mention how some people think that the reason why he is so different is because of the fact that Marvel doesn't have full rights to classic comic Namor. And so, yeah, they wanted to do the whole, continuation of putting the spotlight on diverse people and all the rest of that stuff. But part of the onus of creating this completely different iteration of Namor is because they don't have the rights, or at least they don't have the full rights. So it's like, is that part of the reason why he is the way that he is?
I wish that was true, because like I talked to Dad about it, and he said that they discovered a sunken city around like the Gulf of Mexico or somewhere. They're like, okay, this gives us the idea to finally have somebody different. But it's like, of course, you can't just take Namor as we know him and then try to change where his location is from and expect that he may be the exact same character that we grew up loving, because different culture, ideals, life experiences are different than what Namor was in the comic. So, but that is a good point, because I know that what is it? I think there's certain characters, I think even like what Jack Kirby owns or something like that, or there's certain characters that were created by some of the these creators that actually are still owned by the family of.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it, or at least again, some portion of the rights falls to, if not the families, then some other studio that Marvel sold out to whenever they were hurting for money back in the '90s, right? I mean, they don't own the rights to everything, so and even then, if they can sufficiently change the characters enough, the few creators that put in work for some of the characters they're using now, right? They don't necessarily have to give them share the profits either. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's like part of it is how much of this is corporate bullshit, how much of this is corporate bullshit in the sense of trademark and paying people what they're owed, how much of it is corporate BS in the sense that they don't understand the product and they just want to get something out there, and how much of it is just too many cooks in the kitchen trying to do their take on a character instead of just doing the character that people want to see. So I don't know.
Well, and it comes back to the last episode we talked about the fact that, like, had there been somebody that is kind of over the the lore, the stories, the ideals of what these characters are supposed to be, so that way when a writer comes in, they're like, okay, this is what I want to do, let's ask the guru, they'll say if this is yay or nay, if it would work, and then find a way to work it in. There's a lot of, because we were even getting that with DC back when they did the New 52. Everybody wanted to like do their own new thing on stuff, but then they wanted to include their favorite stories. So Batman comes to mind because he was the one character that, he'd been Batman for 5 years, but apparently he had 3 wards. He had his back broke by Bane, and a couple other things that probably would have worked if it was 10 years he was Batman, or maybe 15 years that he was Batman.
Well, what's so funny is that like Green Lantern, right? Green Lantern, when New 52 hit, was coming right out of Blackest Night, Brightest Day, all that stuff, and the New 52 hit, and Green Lantern didn't even blink, didn't even care. It just, oh yeah, sure, 5 years, whatever. All the stuff that you know, all the stuff that we've done, all the stuff that everyone loves that's happened in the last few years, all
Yeah.
that's still canon.
Yeah.
Somehow, whatever, doesn't matter. Just double think it. Just take that part of your brain, separate it out, go put it over there, and just keep reading the stories because at the end of the day, they didn't care and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It was like the Green Lantern Corps was outside the effects of what Flashpoint created.
Dude, it was it. I remember when New 52 came around and I read the first couple stories from it. I was like, yeah, literally nothing changed. Literally nothing changed, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, the only one that I felt that changed was when they did the Flash, because that whole run that was going on with Barry and everything was good. I enjoyed that. But
Yeah.
So I guess kind of going backwards from the way that we've been doing this, and thinking about other shows that I've watched. Have either of y'all been catching the Willow show? Colin?
after I heard what I've heard, nope. I don't want to tarnish what I love about that original movie from how bad the TV show is.
When my wife at certain points is like in the middle of the show going, it is Warwick Davis even trying? I was like, damn, okay. Like I wasn't gonna throw Davis under the bus that hard, but yeah, there's a couple moments where you're like, was there a second take y'all could have gone to for that? Like just a little bit of emotion, a little bit of inflection, a little bit of something. No, that's what y'all went with? Okay, then. All right, I guess that's what it is. Let's keep going.
Let's throw the flesh balloon at him.
Yeah, it's I from when I heard that like the writing is like a bad CW show, and then the fact that like
so kicking off the show, right, going right out into the show, it immediately fell into one of the tropes that I hate the most. It's actually mostly Disney. In all of Disney, there's one trope that I hate more than anything, and that is the spoiled princess trope, where it's spoiled. Yeah, spoiled. I'll just call it that. The spoiled princess trope, right? Where it's I'm a princess, and I do things that princesses don't do, and I love being able to do whatever I want to do. But now I'm of a certain age, and my mommy and daddy want me to go do something that I don't want to do. So I'm gonna go throw a fit and like put the entire kingdom into, horrible danger and possible destruction because I'm a spoiled little brat that just can't deal with the fact that I have responsibilities and things that I have to deal with. That maybe
And then I'm gonna get married.
Huh?
And then I'm gonna get married.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole issue, right?
Yeah.
Almost all of them. With almost all of them, it's just like, oh yeah, you got to get we have an arranged marriage, and yeah, okay, arranged marriages suck, all that, blah 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 blah. But you're a princess, and that's what the time period called for, and like House of the Dragon dealt with it amazingly. Like it was literally the prince and the princess got together, and they're like, hey, I don't really want to bang you, and you don't really want to bang me. So I'll tell you what, we'll just go through with this anyway, make a show of it, and we'll just go bang whoever we want on the side. And everybody was like high-fiving. Yeah, let's do it. And they went with it. And it caused other problems, but they at least went with it. But like there's that trope to it where it just annoys the hell out of me. It's like, okay, again, you're a princess and you're complaining.
Well, here's the thing. You're talking about a princess from a period of time that wouldn't have had this thought process.
No, that's the other thing. It would have been ingrained into her.
Yes, from birth, she would have been ingrained. Okay, this is what I got to do. It's only in modern storytelling fiction, and I say that within the last 100 years.
There was a really interesting lecture that I heard not too long ago where someone was discussing the types of stories that we are told, right? And so a lot of the older stories that as a society we used to tell really revolved around the sacrifice of the individual for the greater,
good.
right?
Yeah.
It didn't matter if you became this, corporate drone or whatever that you just plugged into a company. It was like you did that for the sake of your family, to raise you sacrificed yourself for the sake of either your family or other people as a whole or things like that, right? It was my own self be damned for the sake of others. And more and more over time, the stories that we are told have shifted from that self-sacrifice for the sake of to self-empowerment in contrast to everyone else, right? Like I need to self-actualize and realize who I am, and that is more important than someone else, like someone else's feelings about it or something like that, right? And it was kind of an interesting topic that he brought up, that there's positive and negatives to both sides, right? Like self-empowerment has brought about things like Me Too and stuff like that, where people have been more encouraged to come out and speak out about the ways that they've been mistreated. It's helped them to avoid certain pitfalls that came from the sacrifice of self. But at the same time, it creates this whole new plethora of issues where, because you're trying to self actualize, if you don't reach the pinnacle of what you think you're supposed to be, even though you might be good, if you're not reaching the point that you think in your mind that you should be, then there's like a level of depression that people run into, because they're like, I can't reach this height that I want to get to. Never mind the fact that I'm living well, my family's well off, right? All this stuff. No, 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 no. I haven't gotten to here. And because I haven't gotten to here, it doesn't matter anything else. I've still failed. And it creates that. It was really kind of cool. Cool thing to kind of listen to and think about. And that really is what a lot of those stories are. And that kind of goes to the types of Disney movies that I've kind of encouraged, my daughter to watch, where I want her to watch Beauty and the Beast, and I want her to watch Mulan and Moana, right? Where Moana toes the line, right? Where they start off and they make it start off seeming like she's rebelling against her parents, but then they walk that back and they say, no, this is for the greater good of her people, right? Like she's disobeying her parents, but it's not out of some petulant BS. It's no, I have to disobey them to save everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like that I accept. That's good. That's a proper motivation. But her just being butthurt, right, and running off because daddy's mean is crap. And it's like that's where I really like those movies. But those types of stories reflect that I'm going to give up a part of myself for the sake of taking care of this, right? Whereas stuff like Frozen and Little Mermaid and stuff like that is a little bit more of I need to self-actualize. So it was kind of interesting to listen to that and to ponder it for a little bit, chew on it.
Well, because that goes back to the whole thing too, is like with Star Wars, with the sequel trilogy, Rey didn't sacrifice anything to achieve the greatness that she was just gifted. Where Luke went through hardship, he lost his entire, his family. He lost Uncle Ben and Aunt Beru. He lost his hands. His friends were constantly in turmoil. But it was through he made out with his sister, yes. But it was these trials and tribulations that Luke went through that helped define him to become that great hero that the galaxy needed to show that he wasn't going to compromise his morals for revenge against his father or the emperor. And it was because of that he inspired his father to break the bonds of the dark side to help him, even at risk of himself.
Right. But he was doing it not because he woke up one day and said, yeah, I want to be a Jedi. It was danger showed up at his door and he realized I can't just be this little farmer boy that I wanted to be anymore. I have to step up and go out and make hard changes in my life and tackle this threat head on, right? And find
No,
ways to tackle this threat and deal with it.
technically not, because Luke wanted to go off to fight the Empire, but because of the constraints of things that were going on around him, he wasn't able to do that. Like, there's that whole argument with him and Uncle Owen talking about he was going to go off to, you know, to the academy, but he goes, "Well, you got to stay on a couple more seasons." But that there's a whole argument in that first movie that talks about that. Luke wanted it, but the thing was is that what the thing is that sometimes what you want may not be achieved just because you want it. Sometimes life will come in and move you into that direction, you know, regardless of what you do. And it's sometimes it's the way it happens is what we need versus the way that we think we want it to happen. So it goes back to that whole argument of what you're saying is, or that's what you're talking about with difference in storytelling now versus back then.
Yeah.
So and it's, you know, like with my son, you know, he wants to play Roblox, but it's like I want him off that because all he does is play Roblox. It's like, you need to clean your room, you need to do your responsibilities. You know, if you did these things, hey, I would let you play Roblox, but then he sneaks in, tries to grab mom's phone, and it's like, look, you got to learn sometimes you can't get what you want, and then you also got to understand that when you do something wrong, it doesn't equal a positive. There's consequences for your actions, and you got to learn that you can't do that.
And the thing I have tried in vain to drill in my children's minds is, look, I get it. You've been at school all day, and the last thing you want to do is homework. You want to come home and you want to sit down and you want to veg out in front of the TV. You want to play a game. You want to do anything but homework. And my wife, God love her, is like, oh, I'll give you all an hour to do whatever you want. But then she doesn't keep track of the time. And then I'll get home and it's been 2.5 hours and they still won't do their homework. And I try to tell them, like, look, if you just come home and knock out your homework the second you get home, guess what? You have literally the rest of the day to do whatever the hell you want. You don't have to spend an hour doing this other thing because you're already done with it, right? You're already done with it. And I've tried so hard to just get into their minds, take care of what you need to get done first. If you take care of what you need to get done first, then guess what? All the rest of your free time, all the rest of your time is yours to deal with. Is yours to do with whatever you want. And every now and then that little spark will come up and they'll actually do it, and then they'll fall back into their ways. And it's the constant ebb and flow battle of parenting, right?
Yep, it is. How long it take us to realize that same thing? You know, I've got away with not having to do my homework for the longest time, and you know, I passed my classes, but you know, I got in trouble for it. I was like, I literally told my dad that I didn't have homework, and then my teacher calls and tells him, hey, your son hasn't been doing his homework. So then he has to come to school to sit with me as I'm like, this is supposed to be a punishment. My dad's cool. All my friends and the kids in class are going to think he's cool. So how are you punishing me here? But you know, eventually you just learn. You learn to do your homework. You learn to take care of the responsibilities, because once you get it done, your night's all to yourself.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things.
But
so yeah, and then the second thing that we ran into was the one that came up in Frozen that frustrated the shit out of me, which is that but it was even worse in Willow. It was, hey, we have the destined child that is going to destroy this evil magic person at some point. We should probably teach her magic. And then her, I guess, stepmother at this point comes in and is like, no. We want to keep her safe. And the only way to keep her safe is to not teach her magic. And like, but if you don't teach her magic, like the kernel, the energy, the power, the force, the ability will dwindle down and possibly disappear. And she's like, yeah, I'll be fine. Like, really? Child of Destiny. The Child of Destiny, you're like, nah, she doesn't need to learn magic. It doesn't matter that later on down the line, this horrific magical being is going to show up and tear the earth apart. Nah, it doesn't matter. Nah, it's fine. If she doesn't learn magic, then what's the evil thing gonna be coming for? Because she ain't gonna be here. It's like, that's stupid. What are you doing? And I get it because they wanted to have the like the character arc of her learning magic, but it's like, but that's not her character. It's not her character. Again, goes back to what we've talked about multiple times, where it's like these people have this idea of the type of story they want to tell, of the characters they want to use, and they step into these existing universes and they say, oh, hey, I could take this and this and this and apply it to this little template of the bullshit I want to tell. Whether or not it makes sense for those characters, be damned, but this is the stupid story I'm going to run out there and tell, even though it doesn't fit within the universe of what we have, and it doesn't make logical sense with what we do. It's like, yeah, Merlin took Arthur away from his parents, but he didn't like just go stick Arthur with a bunch of, random peasants somewhere. He gave him over to a family of knights because he needed to learn. He needed to experience the world from that side, but he needed to get training. He needed to eventually, gain the skill set that was going to lead to him being king.
Mhm.
You don't just say, oh yeah, hey, we're gonna take the child of destiny and you're gonna learn how to make muffins. Man,
Well,
gonna kill evil with them muffins. I tell you what.
The child of destiny on a farm.
Muffin top, muffin top, muffin top.
on a farm. Come on. I mean, that's Luke Skywalker down to a T right there.
Well, oh, you know what? I take it all back. What's gonna happen is Laura Dannon in this show, at the very end of the show, they're gonna be fighting the great big dark evil. It's gonna be all swirling around them. It's gonna be horrible. Willow's gonna be on the ground. It's gonna be like near death. Mad Morgan's kids are gonna be, sprawled out somewhere. They're gonna be bleeding out, all this horrible stuff. And then all of a sudden, Laura Dannon's gonna look down and see it. It's gonna be this great big magical gleaming thing. It's gonna be a muffin button. She's gonna be able to push that muffin button. She's gonna get a muffin.
She's
She'll
gonna
make
be like,
everything better.
she's gonna make it rain muffins.
Well, in the second she pushes that muffin button and the muffin comes out, you know who shows up? It's gonna be Goku.
No, it'll be Mad Mardigan. It'll be Val Kilmer.
No. Team 4-star, man. Team 4-star, Goku. When he was in the chamber and he had the muffin button. And then Dr. Briefs is like, I didn't install a muffin button. And that's what's gonna happen. It's Laura Dannon's gonna find the muffin button, it's gonna summon Goku, and Goku's gonna just take care of everything. Everybody's gonna be like, see, she didn't need to learn magic. She just needed to learn where the muffin button was.
And she's gonna turn Lord Dannon into yogurt.
That's right, man.
Yeah. So, oh, wow. This
That's my hopes.
I would totally see it, man.
I want to see a live action Goku, man. Just get him in there.
Goku is the Lord and Savior of us all. He just needs to just show up, defeat the big bad, and go like this.
And go to the next franchise.
Yeah, go to the next franchise.
That's right. Every franchise needs muffins so that they can somehow drag Goku into their universe.
So these Dragon Balls shaped muffins. She's got to get all
it's
seven.
It's just gonna be a muffin with a giant star on it.
With the 7 stars.
That's right, man. That's
No.
happen.
It has to be the 4-star muffin.
Yes.
His Grandpa
Yeah.
Goku's Star Dragon Ball. There you go.
That's right, man. See, that's what's gonna happen. You know what? I believe in my heart now. That's what's gonna happen. So I now have the will and the fortitude to power through the rest of the season that has thus far been mediocre garbage.
Okay, and I'll live vicariously through you. You just tell us how bad the show gets. And if Goku doesn't show up, we know why it failed. 100%.
No
Yeah.
Goku. Lack of Goku in the Willow show. That's
The lack of Goku. Yes.
Right. I need Goku in my Willow. If Goku and Willow can team up, if we can't get Goku and Willow to team up, what hope is there to see a decent iteration of Batman and Superman teaming up?
Well,
It won't happen.
honestly, how about, what about He-Man? He-Man just needs to show up, right? He's medieval. He can just show up. Willow and Orko could hang out. They're both mages. And then Mad Mardigan shows up with He-Man, and then they just go in with these big swords and just take them all out.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. I have faith, man.
I'm sorry, I'm
I-
still stuck in. I need Goku and my Willow.
That's right.
What
It's a T-shirt if I've ever heard it.
Hey, copyright that level podcast episode 62. There you go. All right.
Goku and my Willow.
My knee Goku and my Willow. Yes. This is great.
Good.
That's the sad thing is like you have too much of this garbage in this show, right? But if you watch Willow, the original movie, you don't have that nonsense in it. You have this great glowing thief who says he's a great warrior, and you get these moments of that he is this great warrior, and that is Val Kilmer. And unfortunately, he can't be on the show, but this show needs Magmardigan.
It does, man. It just, oh, you know what? I'm almost kind of glad that Mardigan isn't in it, because so far they have gone out of their way to just take craps on top of Willow. Like I almost think that Warwick Davis isn't really putting in effort, because like he's read the scripts, he knows what's coming, and he's like, man, they just crap all over my character. Like in like episode 2, they're showing this flashback, and you find out that, spoilers for all the people who care or whatever, that he's like the last sorcerer left somehow, whatever. And he's like, yeah, so I need to go train Laura Dannon, and because I am a great sorcerer now, just like what's her face, the rat from the first movie, proclaimed that I would become. And so I need to go teach Laura Dannon the ways of magic and sorcery. And Saoirse turns around and looks at him, and she's like, Willow, you're not a great sorcerer. And I'm like, really? Is that what we're doing? No, Willow, you suck now. Look,
After
man,
all these years that he's perfected his magic, even in the books that George Lucas and that one writer wrote, the 3 books that were actually the original like sequel to Willow,
yeah.
where he's this great wizard.
Nope. He's still doing the same, like, sleight of hand tricks that he's been doing since the first movie. No character growth. He isn't all that much better. The kid that played the annoying version of Flash Thompson from the new Spider-Man movies, that I still have a hard time believing that they actually cast that kid to be Flash Thompson, because I swear to God that it took me watching this into the second movie by the time I realized, oh shit, that's supposed to be Flash.
Yeah.
What? Anyways, so that kid, like, they shit on that kid. He's like, he's actually well read and intelligent, and he's sitting there and he's like deciphering runes and shit. And then people just walk up and they're like, "Hey, nerd, shut up." Oh, I'm sorry. And he like scuttles off into the corner. It's like, wait, but he was just explaining to y'all like all the lore. He was about to. I'm pretty sure he was about to like figure out everything. If you just let him talk for 2 more seconds, no, nerd, get in your corner. We're gonna go to the giant swirling black vortex.
What is this, Stargate?
We don't need to know what's in it. We're just gonna hit it. What? Man, it's been a hard watch. It's been a hard watch. It's the same problems they keep doing. They're crapping on the legacy characters. They're trying to hit emotional beats, but they're not really building up the moments to them. It's like, oh, hey, these 2 people have, like a mentor student relationship, and then the student has to defeat the master. And it's like, well, we barely got any semblance of that relationship, and now mentor's dead. Okay. But thanks for wasting that. You could have like spent a few more episodes kind of building up the tension between them, maybe had them fight once, and then the master overcome the student, really strongly, and then kind of like throw it in their face, but at the same time be kind of reserved about it, like not striking them down. And then you could have that whole, the mentor who's become corrupted knows that they're corrupted and secretly wants their student to overcome them and to reach that next level that they've been trying to work them towards. None of that. Just strike them down and we're done. Move on to the next emotional beat. We got to get to the next story moment. Let's go.
Yeah, remember, because they don't understand good storytelling. They just they want it now. There is no buildup. It's like my child. He doesn't want to wait till Christmas to get his presents. He wants them now. He wants Santa to come tomorrow and just give him his presents. When did we stop learning how to be patient and waiting for things? We want this instant gratification.
I don't know, man. It's like it's entertainment folks, it seems like, just feel like kids can't sit down and watch anything anymore, right?
And they can't.
Like, a lot of them can't,
They can't.
because the entertainment
Because we've
has
been dumbed down and we have everything on this now.
it's all TikTok videos and a bunch of high-pitched screeching noises for 15 seconds, and then on to the next high-pitched screeching noises for 15 minutes, and then got to turn on. I still remember one of the last times I turned it on. I was surfing around through channels, and I saw Cartoon Network. And you could see like the blocks of programming, right? It was like 30-minute block. Like the channels above and below Cartoon Network, it was like 30-minute block, 30-minute block, hour-long block, hour-and-a-half block. Man, Cartoon Network was like 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. It was Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans Go, Gumball, 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 Teen Titans, Teen Titans, Teen Titans, Gumball, Gumball, Adventure Time. It was like just, again, 15-minute little bites of shows all the way through. I was like, holy shit, what happened? I don't understand. Like,
No, that's what happens when we live in the world of shorts and things. And I'm making shorts, but I'm making clips of things that I think is funny and are like old clips from movies, quotes. And but you look at some of this stuff, it's like, how is this good? I don't understand. But it captivates an audience somehow. We don't want deep, enriching storytelling or enriched storytelling. We don't want, we just want that popcorn movie that just takes us out of a moment just for a moment, and then we shut our brains off.
But I mean, even then, right? Like those popcorn movie moments were great because they were made all the better because of the build up to them, right? Like even the most insane off the wall, like Commando, right? Kicks off with Arnold Schwarzenegger eating ice cream with a little girl and carrying around full size trees on his shoulder, like just nonsense, right? But that whole movie builds up to the emotional crescendo of him throwing that pipe through that dude.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, man, this dude did Arnold wrong, and he's got some comeuppance coming.
Yeah.
And that movie was a buildup of just everyone and their mother getting their comeuppance over and over and over and over and over again until you got to that final one. And it was like, yeah, that even weird, crazy, nonsense action movies can build tension and build up and pay off better than a lot of the crap that we're getting now.
So here we go. So Commando is just John Wick. It was the precursor to John Wick. So instead of like having his dog killed, it's his daughter's kidnapped. So he's going systematically taking out the people that kidnapped his daughter.
But wouldn't that be more Taken than John Wick?
Taken? No.
You literally just like what's Taken? They go and they take Liam Neeson's daughter, and then he proceeds to go out and murder the faces off of everyone that is involved. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando, they take his daughter, and he proceeds to go on to murder the faces off of everyone involved. So
yes, but Arnold does it with style. No, hold on. You got to understand. Taken, I don't see Liam Neeson as this big action hero, okay? He's done some good stuff, but like, Keanu, there's some like really cool kills in John Wick, and you can see the same thing with Commando.
Sure, yeah, no, if you just want to boil it down to here's a movie where there's an action star that kills a bunch of people in crazy creative ways, sure. But if your thesis is, well, it's the exact same thing except this guy's dog dies and this guy's daughter gets taken, then I have
Well,
to
hey,
say,
like I've
no,
said, like I've said, Fast and the Furious is just a remake of Point Break. Extreme sports, finding the guys that are doing things for money.
sure, thievery, like, yeah, no,
Even down to the
absolutely.
whole thing of like the instead of the girlfriend of the main bad guy, he becomes friends with him. It's the sister of the main bad guy. He becomes friends with them. I mean, it's paint by numbers here, man.
Yeah, I will side with you on that. I cannot find I cannot find John
Okay,
Wick
you
and
know,
Commando. I
because
won't allow it.
okay, here's the thing. The reason why. Think about it this way. John Matrix, right? He's a special force operative, like decorated, last survivor of his team, you know. And then you got John Wick, who is the baddest ass, the guy that you would call to kill the boogeyman. He was top of the line. So both these guys are top of the line badass guys. Come on, man.
Sure, I get it, but so was Liam Neeson in Taken. He was the like ultra awesome operative that was like, yeah, you don't want to piss this guy off because he's got a special set of skills, right? Like again, Taken and Commando fit closer
Okay, hold on,
together.
hold on, hold on. No, because think about it this way. You don't have John calling the bad guy, you fucked up. You know, I don't know who you are, blah, blah, blah. No, he just goes out and kills these guys. Whereas, like, you know, and the same thing with John Matrix. He goes out there and just kills these guys.
Well, I mean, John kind of gave them a heads up, right? Like Wick, because Wick didn't he go to the Russian bad guy first? And he was like, "Hey, just give me your son." Man, I need to go
No,
watch.
because they start attacking him in that house
Yeah, and then he
first.
reaches out to John and he tries to make the amends for it. And he's like, "Yeah, no."
After the fact. After the fact.
Oh, man. It's been forever since I've watched.
It might be poorly okay. It may be poorly executed. Yes, we had what, 2 Taken movies?
Three. They got
3?
up to three.
I only watched the first one. It's like,
Yeah, I've only seen the first one too.
no.
I tell myself in the back of my mind, I'm like, do I want to watch Taken 2 and 3? No, I don't.
No.
The first one's fair enough. I'll take that. It's entertaining enough. I don't care, but I can't
I'll
watch
meet you
Liam
guys
Neeson.
halfway. I'll meet you guys halfway.
Okay.
I'll give you Liam Neeson, but as Darkman. Darkman, he didn't like broadcast anything. He went and found people, and hey,
Well, you know what? I'll give this. You know what makes that movie great is, besides it being a good movie, was the fact that like it's got Bruce Campbell in it at the end.
Well, it's Raimi, so
It was Raimi.
he has to have his obligatory Bruce cameo somewhere in it.
We have as we've expected, we've completely, as you guys have expected, we have gone completely off the rails here. So what do you think? Is Commando more like John Wick, or is it more like Taken, or is there another movie that may fit in that framework that is Commando? Now, Commando could have used 2 more sequels.
I mean,
where else could you take it though?
Huh?
Where else could you take it? The whole reason for him doing everything he was doing was because his daughter was taken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, John Wick got another dog.
so
Yeah,
you know
but
what they do? You know what they do in the sequel? Arnold gets taken.
And she
wait,
has
no.
to become the
Oh,
commando.
wait, no, I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. That's the story for Taken 2 starring Liam Neeson. I just brought it back around again.
Well, see, my idea for what if a Commando sequel, if you did it right now, was be like, yeah, he gets kidnapped, and then Ginny goes, Alyssa Milano, to go and rescue him because she's, you know, ex-military.
Or you can have it to where her son gets kidnapped and she has to get her dad to go with her to go and
Now I need to go take a look at the plot synopsis for Taken 3 and see how close you're getting. Because I feel like you're just proving my point for me.
which I've never seen 2 or 3.
I know, it's fine. I haven't either. I actually don't know what the plot synopsis for Taken 3 is. I hope I'm gonna look it up right now. I hope to God it's exactly what you're just describing because I will die laughing so hard. Let's see here.
No. You know what Taken 3 was? It was that his daughter was on an airplane and she crashed on an island. Because if I remember correctly, his daughter is the same girl from Lost.
Oh,
one
God.
of the characters.
Wikipedia is trying to tell me the entire plot. I just need a brief synopsis.
So that's Taken Away 3?
Taken.
Taken too soon? Is that what we're after?
Oh no, it's his wife gets murdered.
His estranged wife? Because
Yeah,
weren't they separated?
His ex-wife gets murdered. He gets framed for it, so then he's on the lam trying to hunt down the killers. And then at the same time,
the band The
protecting his
Killers?
wife. Huh?
The band The Killers?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
It's a very odd movie, but it all ends with a giant music video to the Killers' song "The Man," which is actually a really damn good song. Like I'm not much of a Killers fan. I've never really gotten that much into them. But when I was watching Stargirl season 1 and friggin' Icicle shows up to the Killers, I didn't even know it was the Killers. I just heard this song. I was like, man, this is a catchy tune. I kind of like this. And then I go look it up and I'm like, holy shit, it's the Killers.
It's no Barry.
Alrighty, guys.
Barry Allen.
No,
Hey,
it's no Barry. Oh man. The sad thing is we were supposed to do the whole and I know none of us were prepared for this, the discussion of what our movies were for the year.
I didn't really wanted it to be this one. Okay.
Well, I mean, I wanted to do this whole thing of just us talking about the things that came out this year and what we thought our thoughts as far as the overall 2022.
We kind of did that. If you think about it, most of it was garbage.
Most everything that came out in 2022 was white hot garbage. But see, that's where we're supposed to be able to talk about.
Well, except for Andor Andor.
Again, we covered that.
And what else?
Werewolf by Night was good.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. That was one of the first Marvel things I've watched in a while that I got to the end of it and I was like, you know what? I think I enjoyed pretty much all of that. And at the same time, I'd kind of like to see something a little bit more with Man-Thing because he seems pretty cool and I don't know much shit about him. Like, why does everyone burst into flames whenever he touches them if they're scared? I'm not quite sure, but that's cool.
I got another Constantine animated movie to my collection. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a short, wasn't it? Because that was the House.
Yeah, but still. Matt Ryan, animated Constantine.
Here, let me see.
So I mean, we're kind of on topic.
Well, yeah, considering we did get what Cobra Kai season 4, and then Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things was worth it.
Well,
I have not watched Cobra Kai, and I don't know if I want to.
It's good.
I mean, you said you still want to do a Christmas episode, right?
I do want to do a Christmas episode.
So we can just do Christmas episode saying, hey, you want to know what? 2022 was filled with a lot of coal, but there were a couple presents in there.
A couple diamonds.
And this was them.
A couple diamonds on the rough, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because
you can spin it like that.
I mean, you got what? Jurassic World, Dominion.
Did you see that?
The Guardians of the
Notable.
Galaxy Christmas special was good, or holiday
Yeah.
special. Werewolf by Night, Black Adam, which we still haven't seen yet.
Black Adam is Friday.
I have, but y'all haven't.
Yeah. The new Hellraiser, David said wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it kind of missed the mark towards the end, but it was sufficiently creepy towards the beginning.
You know what?
I-
Go ahead. And then
No, I was gonna say, if they go on to do a second one, which they're heavily implying by the end of the movie that they are, I hope that they choose to utilize the Cenobites better and make them more terrifying than this movie did.
Mhm.
But the reason why that some of the horror of the Cenobites was kind of stripped from them was because the MacGuffin of this movie was like, it was the golden gun from Goldeneye. It's like, yeah, you just like shoot them once and they're dead. Like, yeah, you just cut them once and then Pinhead rips them apart. Like, oh, does it do it to everything? Yeah, it does it to everything. Watch this. I'm gonna cut this gate and it's gonna tear apart. I'm gonna cut this. Not really. I'm exaggerating at this point, but yeah. So they kind of undercut their monsters a little bit. So I would hope that if they do another one, they they make them a little bit more terrifying. Terrifier 2. I haven't seen it, but I heard it's supposed to be sufficiently horrific and icky.
The Adam Project was good. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Adam
We got
Project-
word that Michael Keaton was coming back as Batman.
Mm-hmm. We had that possible thing.
That was good.
Wednesday. I finished Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I did enjoy Wednesday quite a bit.
That is on my queue.
I still didn't watch Chip and Dale.
That was good. That was
Was
good.
it?
That was worth it.
Still haven't seen Multiverse of Madness yet. Batman was pretty decent.
That was okay.
What
I mean, in the
Multiverse of
grand scheme
Madness?
of things, Multiverse of Madness was good. It was more filler. It was more establishing where things are going, but it was still a good popcorn movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I liked it better until I saw this person. I forget what. Somebody did this like 6 hour long video where they went through and talked about like the entirety of Multiverse of Madness and like all the ways that it like breaks Marvel canon and it's nonsensical. And what made it even worse was then you go into She-Hulk, right, where like they start referencing stuff from Multiverse of Madness, like the what the hell, the Book of Ashanti, right? It's like, yeah, the Book of Ashanti, you know, this like incredibly powerful item that the Sorcerer Supreme knew about, that Doctor Strange should know about, because the first movie established that he's an avid, voracious reader and would sneak into the hidden libraries. So he should have known about this book for some time, and he didn't. And then they destroyed it because whatever. It was like, wait, but multiple realities, and how come in every reality he's this exact same way? Because after watching that video, it was like whenever I came out of Multiverse of Madness, I was like, I'll give it like a 7. And then after watching that, I'm like, damn, I need to deduct some points now from this thing, because yeah, there's some stuff in there I hadn't considered that. Yeah, it's kind of rough, but yeah, if you turn your brain off, it's fun enough.
Yeah, we all enjoyed Batman. Uncharted movie was okay. It's a popcorn flick.
Dude, I tried watching that movie. I tried so hard to watch that movie, but Tom Holland is not Nathan Drake.
No, he's not.
And Mark Wahlberg is the furthest thing from Sully you could have possibly found. Like, holy crap. Like, just watching the opening parts of that movie, I was just like, I can't.
I know. Then we had the Secrets of Dumbledore, which I didn't get to see. Anna did.
I haven't seen any of those movies, any of that series.
Halloween Ends, which was awful.
Yeah, I had such hopes for that whole. It started off strong and then just kind of killed itself.
Yeah.
Nope was good.
Nope was good.
I didn't get to see Moonfall.
The movie I want to watch right now, the biggest movie I want to watch, and it's actually on Netflix. And I'm definitely going to watch it at some point this weekend. It has nothing to do with Christmas. It is apparently a movie that was made somewhere over in India, and it is just the most balls to the walls, batshit crazy action movie. Like, just watch the trailer. It's called RRR. Dude, watch the trailer for that movie. It looks amazing. It looks so good. There's a part where a guy runs up, they're like in a burning forest. Dude kicks a guy through like a burning tree, snaps a limb. Guy on the other side of the tree that's fighting alongside him reaches out, catches the burning limb as it's spinning around to him, and proceeds to beat the shit out of people with it. It's amazing. It is so good. I have not seen it. I've heard nothing but good about it. But man, I'm excited.
Oh wait, I heard about that one. That one's going to be the first of a like a trilogy or a series of action movies.
If it is a fraction of awesome as that trailer, I'm stoked. And then I saw a trailer for something else the other day. It was a South Korean movie called Alienoid.
Okay, yeah, I've seen the trailer.
And it's got like a dude who's clearly in like very Iron Man inspired armor, like fighting aliens that come down and like inject themselves into people. I have no idea what's going on, but that one looks pretty cool. But RRR is the one I need. I'm is top of my list. I need to get to because it just like the crazy thing about it is like seeing the trailer for that movie. It feels like what our movies used to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just hey guys, we're gonna make an action movie, and by action movie I mean we're gonna take everything, dial it up to the most insane levels of not even 11. We're gonna break the dial off as we spin this thing, and it's just gonna be the most fun, batshit crazy. Like we're just gonna figure out a way to make as much awesome bullshit as we can and cram it into a single container, but somehow it like makes somewhat sense, and then just roll it out there and go. Right? It's like if John Wick was a superhero on steroids, and they just went out and did that. It was like, yeah, I'm down 100%. Let's do it.
I have to say the movie that I felt was great this year that I enjoyed a lot, which one of them I didn't even get to see. I haven't seen Everywhere Everything at Once. I'm gonna pick that up.
Really good.
I heard it was really good.
Really, really good.
But Bullet Train, I enjoyed that I think the most this year.
Bullet Train, I actually just watched that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We finally because it was on what Netflix I think is what
it's on Netflix. Yeah,
dude, that was a lot of fun. That movie was a lot of fun. I was not like the whole time I'm watching. I'm like, this feels like a much better and more competent version of Smoking Aces.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
Like I loved Smoking Aces, the first one. Yeah. I had so much fun with that movie. It was so crazy. It was so fun. It was so good. And this movie felt exactly like that. Wow. And so, except better, right? It had so much more going on with it. It was so crazy. And then when Michael Shannon showed up, it was so good. I loved it. Yeah, that was a great movie. I was so happy that thing.
The brief cameo of Ryan Reynolds. And he's the whole reason why everything. He's the whole reason why Brad Pitt's dealing with everything in the first place, and it's like he's only in a moment of the movie.
Yeah, it's awesome though. Yeah, that was a really good movie. I just watched it. I've got so much other crap rolling around in my brain. I completely forgot about that movie. That one was good.
Yeah. Well, because like that's the thing is like I've been watching a lot of documentaries and stuff, and trying to catch up on just different things that I missed during the year. And like yesterday, I watched Scrooged because I hadn't seen it in a long time. Usually, it's one of the ones that we always watch for Christmas. Yeah. And then I watched Lethal Weapon 2. So, not a Christmas movie. The first one is, but not the second one.
We've been watching the Santa Clauses show, right? The new one. I went into it. I wanted to like it. There's moments of it that are fine, right? Like I like the idea of him and his family trying to go back to a normal life and try and figure out, how to do that again, right? Without all the stuff that they, become used. It's almost like Elf, right? It was like they took the original Santa Claus and they took Elf and they just kind of like blended them together and made this show. But I don't like his replacement, the corporate replacement dude. Just seems a little odd, and there's just aspects to it that the opening, like the opening crawl of it, yeah, just the title sequence for that show is one of the weirdest thing. It has nothing to do with the show. I don't understand who came up with it, but that kind of tells you a little bit about it. It's a weird show. But yeah, I wanted to like it. I still want to try to like it, but it hasn't really hit those notes that I was hoping it was going to hit.
I'm gonna pass on that one.
Yeah, I mean, other than a few shows though, I mean, there was a lot of hits. Well, there was a lot of misses, honestly.
There was a lot of white hot garbage, as David put it.
Yeah, because I mean, Willow, of course, Kenobi, Halo. I heard that like Strange Worlds wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Peacemaker was I heard was good. I hadn't watched that yet.
Peacemaker was okay.
Yeah.
It suffered from the short episode thing.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been stretched out a little bit more.
Yeah, Miss Marvel, I didn't get to watch, but
Miss Marvel was good. It wasn't great, but it was worth sitting through the whole thing.
She-Hulk was not worth sitting through the whole thing at all. Only watched episode 7, I think, is the one with Daredevil shows up. That's the only good one.
I watched the whole thing because I'm just trying to keep the record. Just trying to keep the whole record.
Yeah, I know. I watched it too.
Point,
but we've already discussed and talked about that one in length.
Makes you real for Born Again, doesn't it?
I am sufficiently happy with Charlie Cox coming back as Daredevil. I'm even adjusting to the new suit. Maybe they'll update it again. I don't know. I don't care. I'm happy with what they've planned so far.
Yeah.
With what I'm seeing. That was the payoff.
Aren't they retooling their plans though? Like I saw a bunch of headlines about how Marvel's like, oh yeah, we're gonna make some adjustments to like phase 5 and 6 because of how mediocre phase 4 has been received.
Who knows?
They need to do something, man.
As soon as Ant-Man drops, phase 5 is on us.
Yeah. Yep. Rings of Power was bad.
Another one I passed on.
The House of Dragon was really good.
Sandman was good.
Still gotta watch that.
Let me see. What else did we get? There's quite a bit I'm just like skipping over, but
I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of notable stuff this year. It just most of it was white hot garbage.
Yeah.
Goku and our Willow.
Yeah, we need Goku and our Willow, man.
That's right. The one thing that failed that I was sad to see fail was the Northman, right? Because I like Edgar's, right? Like The Witch was really good. The Lighthouse is really weird, but really good. And the Northman was really good. It's a long movie and it can be kind of oddly paced towards the middle, but I really enjoyed it, and I hope it doesn't dissuade him from, taking leaps into telling those kinds of like epic stories again, because I like his style quite a bit. So I'm curious. I think he's already working on his next project, so I'm hoping it's a continuation of him being a really good director and writer.
Yeah. There's quite a few other ones. I mean, yeah, of course.
There was a lot more I missed than I was able to watch this year, mainly because I was back in school and trying to. I started off the year with wanting to go to school, which I did, and having 3 album projects on the table. I just finished one of them today. The other 2 have not happened yet. So I got a little deterred.
Yeah, with things going on, my wife getting into the job and everything, and then
Yeah.
trying to get things in order with work and all that stuff. I'm ready for an easy next year. So because like I put between like doing the podcast and doing a little bit of things here, I'm behind on a lot of my games right now.
Yeah.
And then like tomorrow is Crisis Core. And I just got huh?
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Yes, it is. Well, her happy belated birthday, but right now it's happy early birthday.
There you go.
Yeah.
About 40 minutes, but
yeah.
I'll take
it. But I got Callisto Protocol, and I haven't even put it in my PS5 yet to check it out.
My parents picked up Callisto Protocol for one of the kids, so I'm having to wait until Christmas to see that. But I do have Ragnarok. Ragnarok's been fun. The son has been playing that for the most part. He's almost beaten it. I think he's like 3/4 of the way through or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in between, like kind of playing Ragnarok, I've also been kind of playing Event Horizon or not Horizon Zero Dawn,
which is great.
because I haven't beat that one, so I'm making my way through that. But then whenever he's on the PS5 and I only have access to the PS4, I'm playing Yakuza 2 now, or Kiwami 2.
Yeah.
So I'm playing that. Man, I love the Yakuza games so much. Like the fact that the very beginning of Yakuza 2, you come walking to this town and this guy's like, "Man, you must be new here, walking around in your fancy suit, peacocking all over the place." And the two responses that you get are like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir," and the other one was, "Well, I just got done peacocking your mom." I'm like, option two, let's go all day. And then the fact that it's got a peeing mini game. I never knew that such a thing should exist, needed to exist, but it exists. And the other problem with Yakuza 2 that I found from Yakuza 0 is, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is about it. That stupid hostess minigame, right? Where you're like the hostess club owner. I don't know what it is about that goddamn minigame. I can't stop playing it. I don't know. I don't know why. Like I'm sitting there and I get like I'm just sitting there playing and I realize I'm like, oh yeah, have I done like any of the side quests I was supposed to do? No, I've just been playing this stupid hostess minigame. I've got like I've maxed out my money because that minigame makes you so much money. Holy shit. It's like I have no need for money whatsoever in this game. And I've beaten this thing all the way through. I've destroyed it, and I just keep playing it. I don't know why.
Well,
I don't know.
Wait till you get to Like a Dragon, because
I was just talking about that today.
Because you have the whole Ichiban confection stuff, huh?
Does Like a Dragon have a Hostess Club minigame?
It has its own mini game that's like the Hostess Club, but you're running a business. Ichiban Confections.
So Yakuza 2 has that as well. I think I haven't gotten to it, but it's the construction company.
Yes.
Like there's a company that exists in it with Majima that you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea how that plays because I'm too damn busy running a Hostess Club.
Yeah.
What
I'm trying to remember.
I'm sorry, Vince. David, wasn't there some kind of Yakuza show earlier this year you watched? Or something about the Yakuza?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. I'm hoping that show gets a second season. Like with all the nonsense going on with that company, I hope Tokyo Vice gets a second season. Mm-hmm. I really, really dug that.
Yeah, it was good.
It makes me want to go back and watch. I have a sad deficiency in Beat Takeshi movies in my collection. Like the one, in fact I only have a dual collection of Beat Takeshi movies, which both of them are really good. It was Beat Takeshi's take on Zatoichi, which is good. There's some CGI blood towards the end, which looks like shit, but other than that, it's a great Zatoichi movie. And then there's Sonatine, I think is the name of it. God. But it's one of his Yakuza movies, because that's what Beat Takeshi's really known for, is doing a bunch of Yakuza films. And that one's really like that double DVD that I have of Zatoichi and Sonatine are awesome. I love that. I love both those movies. But I need to go get more of his, because he's got some good stuff out there. Okay, good. I did that right. Sonatine, 1993. And also the great thing about Beat Takeshi is he gave us most extreme elimination challenge.
Oh.
Because Spike TV got a hold of Takeshi's Castle and decided to dub over it in the most hilarious of ways.
Oh man, the stuff that we used to watch during like the early 2000s or all right, so let's go ahead and wrap up the episode. Everyone, we hope you enjoyed this one. Kind of off the beaten path at some points, but I think we did a pretty good job talking about DC and the direction they're going to go. A little bit into storytelling, our thoughts on Willow, of course. It's sad that, you know, a beloved film can't get a good treatment as far as a TV show. But, and, you know, give a little bit of thoughts about our, you know, things about the movies and shows we watched this year. But until then, we will catch you next week. I think next week we're either going to be doing talk about our video game so we've been playing this year, you know, our overall thoughts on that. And if not, it'll be the Christmas episode. So one of the two, we'll see. But until then, have a great one. We'll catch you later.
Deuces.